Good morning. So, why is it that I'm sitting at home on video with you instead of on stage at my first show? If you're interested, come with me, I'll tell you why. Hey, so it's been like forever since I've done a video, and I'm really sorry about that. Life has really gotten away from me, and there are several hundred reasons that I am not at my first show. Here's my registration, it's all filled out. Needless to say, I was really looking forward to doing this. Um, There are so many reasons. I'm going to try to go over them all, but as you know, I don't really want to keep you here all day. And excuse my messy hair. Um, so I'm going to try to go over it. I actually took notes because there's like literally so many things that have happened in the last couple of months. So the first of which is they announced this show 10 weeks ago. If you know anything about bodybuilding, you're supposed to be prepping for, at least 8 weeks. And so it was kind of sprung on me, and I was not able to get my head around what that all entailed because I just am ignorant to the whole process. And that was fine, and we decided that I was going to do the July show anyway. But when they had to not announce this show, I thought, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep for this show and then just kind of see where I get and where I'm at, and hopefully then I would have the best body I've ever had in my life. And that is true. I am very happy with where I am. I'm very happy with my progress. I am in a Jim Stepani challenge that ends the end of next week. So yeah, I have one more week of that. And I'm pretty proud of my progress in that. And so I'm not disappointed today. Yeah, I am. I'm feeling a little down today, but compared to where I was when the shit hit the fan last month, I'm actually doing pretty good. So what happened last month was that I had Tough Mudder scheduled on February 19th, exactly 1 month ago, which is the death anniversary of Samantha and my best friend who got killed at 15. And so I was elated that I was going to be able to do a Tough Mudder for her on her death day. That was like supposed to be like the best weekend of my life because we were going to go, Troy and I, and do the Tough Mudder. And then the next day we were going to go to the Renaissance Fair, which since COVID has shut down and since we have moved down to New Mexico, we have not been able to do any of the things that we had planned on doing because everything's been in lockdown. So really excited for that. However, what happened was that I got my period as we were packing the car to leave. And I'm not going to get into details, but my periods for the last year or so have been completely debilitating. I can't really do anything. And 3 years ago, I had to do the Tough Mudder with my period. It was really horrible. Again, I'm going to spare you all the details of that. So I canceled the trip and realized that I couldn't do this show because it was exactly 1 month away from that, right? So I was, at that point, completely still on board with getting on stage today. I was on track. I wasn't exactly as lean as I would have liked to have been, but it wouldn't have mattered because I'm not trying to win. I just want to get out there and do this thing. So having said all that, I am back on birth control now, and hopefully can get some kind of system or regulatory whatever with this menopause. It's really quite unbearable and impossible to be a bodybuilder or an athlete of any sort when you really don't know what your body's going to do and you can't really plan for anything. So that has really thrown me for a huge loop in every regard of my life, not just this, but in everything. So yeah. So there's that. And then there's also the fact that Troy and I are taking over his online chai company, moving it from Indiana to New Mexico. Needless to say, that has been extremely time consuming and stressful and has taken a lot of my time. So I literally had to stop the video right there because I'm just feeling so ugly and I'm really having a hard time looking at myself right now, which is really strange. I've been doing really well. That might be PMS. I'm not used to having PMS anymore, and now that I'm on the pill, that seems to have come back. I don't know. I just am not feeling real great today. So I decided I wasn't going to do the video because of this double chin and the wrinkles in my neck. And, maybe that's something you guys all need to hear, maybe, I don't know, you give this, maybe, I know I get this illusion with some of these girls that they're happy and working out all the time, happy all the time, and that's just not the case. Down days, for sure, especially at this age. So anyway, I was talking about Try Direct, and that's taking up a lot of time. Also, the physical aspect of competing has been really difficult for me in so far as posing. I can only wear those shoes for like 2 minutes, which of course is a problem because I have to wear them all day without one of my toes going completely numb and like tingling and having like severe nerve pain go all the way up my leg. So that's a problem, and I don't know that that can be fixed. I'm not really sure if that can be fixed, and I certainly don't want to give myself nerve damage over this. So there's that. There's also a set of disabilities that I have, muscle weirdness, injuries from old athletic stuff, and things that are preventing me from being able to pose well. And I'm not sure if I can work that stuff out or not. I almost feel like I need to talk to a physical therapist or maybe a posing coach who's dealt with this kind of stuff to know that if I should even work through it or not, because it's quite miserable. A lot of like nerve stuff where, I'm getting into this position, it's something I didn't realize, but you get into positions that are just not natural at all. And they hurt a lot, and everybody laughs about it, oh, it's really painful, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is worse than that. This is like nerve damage triggered stuff. And so if I do a 5-minute posing session, I'm having like weird nerve stuff go on for like the whole rest of the night. So that's an issue, obviously. Also, another thing that has prevented me from going is that I didn't realize that this is a beauty competition, which it is. You're judged on your overall look, not your muscles. You're judged on your overall look. So I am competing with women who have fake hair and fake eyelashes and fake lips and collagen and Botox and fake breasts and in some cases fake butts. Okay, people are literally getting implants in their butts now. So that was really disappointing to me because even though this show is supposed to be natural, all that really means is you're not on steroids. So that just turns me off, right? Like that's not something I'm interested in. That's not bodybuilding. I don't know what that is. It's disgusting is what it is. It's horrifying that people feel like they have to be fake to win a beauty contest. Like, I don't know what that is, but it's not athleticism. It's kind of like what we've done with our poor Olympic athletes, right? We've turned them into sex symbols instead of like athletes. So anyway, I'm not real sure that's anything I want to be a part of in the first place. And I've also really gotten to know 4 or 5 female bodybuilders, competitors, and they are sick. They are not mentally well. And I'm not talking about Cindy or anybody that I know personally. These are girls on Instagram and Facebook that I got in contact with and had a lot of conversations with, and my age or older. And they're not well. They're just, their body images are so fucked up, and they're like so obsessed with being perfect and winning, and it's just weird to me. It's not fun for them, right? It's not enjoyable. And that's not, for me as an athlete, I like to have fun and I like to enjoy the process and I like to push myself, but I don't want to like compete. I don't like to compete, of course. That's why I like Tough Mudder over Spartan all these years, is because Tough Mudder is not a competition. You're up against yourself and it's teamwork. So I like that kind of sport, if you will, or athleticism. So I don't really like the mentality, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't like the physical aspect of it, and I don't like the mental aspect of it. I have gotten off of Instagram, as a matter of fact, because those people were freaking me out a little bit. Okay, let me see what a note says. Oh yeah, so COVID has also been a factor, obviously. Things have been just up and down and very strange since I've had COVID. My physical repercussions of that have been inconsistent, to say the least. So it's been really, really difficult to train on any kind of schedule. I think I'm better now, the last few weeks, about last month or so, but for a while there, it was really sporadic and I was like not able to do anything. And so my training was not where it should have been to be able to compete and compete well. That's for sure. Um, oh yeah. So, okay. I've got a lot of things here. Um, okay, let me just go down the list here. So what I have here is no life, no family sacrifice. And so, I was fully aware that going into prep meant that you were in prep and that was it. Um, and what I've decided is I don't think it's worth that. It's like literally 8 to 12 to 20 weeks of, not spending time with friends and not eating and not having a life, basically. And when you do have a life, you can't be present for it because you're so obsessed. I guess I should talk for myself. I would be so obsessed with what I'm eating or what I'm not eating. And it just became very apparent to me that this is not something that I can do comfortably. Of course, you're not supposed to be comfortable. This is really hard to explain, but long story short, I don't think I can do prep for any longer than 8 weeks. And that would be pushing it. Like if I can do it in 4, like all of these girls that I have watched on YouTube where they're like, oh, here's my first bikini competition prep. And they're like 20, right? So their trainer's like, oh, you're going to do a competition in 8 weeks. And they're like, okay. And they do it in 8 weeks. That has not been my experience, and nor is it any of the women my age experience. This is a long process. And when you add in hormones and menopause and your period and perimenopause and just aging in general, I don't know how damn long I'm going to have to be in prep, but I haven't found it so compelling to go on stage and be naked in front of a whole bunch of people that I want to sacrifice my life and my relationships for. It's just not something I'm ready to sign up for yet. Now, having said all this, I'm not saying that I'm never doing a competition. I don't know. All I know is I'm not on stage today. That's all I know. And so I thought that that I owed you guys an explanation for that. There's shows in July and there's shows in November. And then, of course, there's the natural show next spring, which hopefully will be in fucking April instead of March, which is when it's supposed to be. This really, really pissed me off that he decided to announce this show 10 weeks in advance. As a matter of fact, there were 2. They'd always double up on them, and the first one was on the 5th. So those people had 8 weeks. It was like literally he announced the show, and it was like, oh, so if you want to do this show, go into prep today. And that left a bad taste in my mouth too, because that's just fucking rude, And speaking of that, as I start digging into this stuff and as I start doing these registrations, it's like they nickel and dime you to death. It's a very expensive proposition to stand on stage naked for 5 minutes. And I know that I'm like painting that black, but I just don't know if it's worth all of that money when I could just do a photo shoot instead and spend all of that money on a photo shoot. You know what I mean? Because I don't really want to compete anyway. So anyway, if you have any thoughts on any of this, or feedback, let me know. But this is where I'm at today. Okay. The unhealthy diet and the starvation is another thing I wanted to talk about. So this is a big deal for me because I have my final exam for my wellness coach certificate in a couple weeks, and I'm going to be going for my master's degree in integrated health and wellness, and I am just so excited about being on this path. This is what I've always wanted. This is my passion, and what I've discovered is whatever reason in this country we have decided that bodybuilders are healthy. That is the picture of health, if you will. And that is not true at all. These people are literally starving themselves. They are on drugs. They are on collagen. They are getting fucking implants. They're getting Botox. Like, it's insane. It's insane that we would ever think that these people are healthy. And as I dig into this even more, it Now, of course, I'm not talking about every bodybuilder across the board, obviously. But in general, these people are not objects of health. We should not be looking up to these people um, for health advice the way that we do. Um, yeah. So, having said that, as a wellness coach, I don't know that it's a good idea that I do that. If I can do it and take another 2 years or even a year, whatever it would take to do it healthily and naturally and still achieve some sort of leanness, in just like a week of dehydration instead of like 18 weeks of starving myself, then maybe I would consider it. But I don't think it's a good idea for me to say, oh, look at how healthy I am when I'm preparing for a bodybuilding competition. That just seems hypocritical and ridiculous. And that is not what I want to project as a health coach. So there's that. There's also, the last thing I have on here is, no, that's it. Beauty pad, okay. My SI joint. So that's a big deal. So last week I like I said, I have these weird like disabilities and I have SI dysfunction, and it flared up really bad the other day. Gosh, what was it? 2 weeks ago, I guess, or something, a week ago. And just completely put me down for being able to do any like core work at all. I was able to do legs and stuff, but everything's been very slow, and I have to, this process is not what you normally see on the YouTube videos of the younger women and probably men. I don't know, I haven't watched it, but of, them saying, oh, I want to do a bodybuilding competition, so I'm going to, and then they do. It seems to me that a lot of the people who fail, like I have, don't put it on video. And so I think it's important to put this video out to let you know that there are a lot of different aspects of why I'm not on stage right now and why I might get on stage someday. But I want to get healthy and well first. I want to get healthy. I want to get well. I want to be able to tell people this is what it took. And then I'm also going to do this crazy extreme sport of bodybuilding competition. Okay. I don't want to give the persona that that's what healthy is, because it's not. And it's not just bodybuilding. There's a lot of athletics that are not healthy, right? Like, I know remember when Michael Phelps was talking about like his training regimen, and everybody was like, holy shit, he eats like 5 pizzas a day and swims for like 5 hours. Like, that's not normal. That's not healthy. People don't have lives. Okay. So I understand that all athletes, all successful athletes, sacrifice and are not exactly the object of wellness. So what I want to do is I want to kind of figure out what that is for me. Like, what is wellness overall integrated into my life? Spiritual, mental, physical, psychological, spiritual. What is it? What does it look like? And then maybe go into an extreme sport like bodybuilding or something like that. So I'm not going to stop lifting. Obviously, I love lifting, and I'm still going to bodybuild, and I'm still going to try to get that body. And I might go to competition in July. I don't know. I haven't ruled that out yet, of course. I'm just telling you, like, all the things that have come to pass over the last couple months that I haven't been doing videos. It's been a whirlwind, and it's been overwhelming, and I haven't even known what to talk about on these videos because it's just been so crazy. So that's like where I'm at today. I'm sad, honestly. As much as I just bashed everything, I'm really sad that I'm not part of it. So it's a weird place to be. So I'm not really sure what to do with that emotionally. So I'm still working through all that stuff too. And maybe by July, I'll do it. I know there's a lot of girls going from Deming, going to Tucson in the July show. So it might be kind of fun to do that as a group. So anyway, I will try to be putting out videos on this channel that are more wellness related more than fitness, or, you know, kind of across the board the way I have been, recipes and smart goals and, you know, spiritual stuff and whatever. So I'm not going to like let the channel die or anything like that. And I'll keep you posted on the bodybuilding stuff, but not every week like I was, obviously. Um, and I do appreciate you being here. And I'm sorry this is so long, but I think it's important to put the reality of what all this entails out there, and say that, you know, it's one step forward and one step back and two steps forward and one step back. It's really a trial and error process and learning, right? Like it feels like every time I learn something, like whether it's with diet or supplements or the shoes or how much this is going to cost, and I feel like I'm on track, then I feel like I got hit with something else that I wasn't prepared for, like this weird toe thing with the shoes. I've never, you know, when I was a dancer and a bartender and stuff, I always wore the stripper boots. I never wore the shoes. And so I was like, well, this is no big deal. I've done this before, but actually I haven't. And I don't know how to solve that, right? So now that's one of the things I have to go talk to all these different bodybuilders about and say, has anybody had this problem? And if so, how do you fix it? And, you know, so it's always this like puzzle of trying to get all the pieces together. And I don't know if that's going to happen by July or if that'll happen in the next year or how long it'll happen. But it's been a really interesting ride, and it's been 8 months, right? And I'm not quitting yet. I want all the facts and I want all the pieces of the puzzle. I'm trying to get the arch in my back for posing. I can't do it right now because of my SI dysfunction, like at all. And so I've been doing a lot of like stretching exercises, trying to get that out. So just dumb stuff like that, where it's like, there's just a lot of dumb details that I didn't think about or didn't know, on this journey. And I think every athletic journey that I've encountered is like this, you know, where you do what you can and you learn what you need to improve, and then you go improve that. And that I think would be easier if I were younger and my body wasn't falling apart. But it seems like sometimes I'll get it figured out and then a loop will get thrown in. Like I got the whole working through my cycle, training through my cycle and diet and all that worked out. And now I'm on birth control and I have to start all over with that, for instance. So it's fun, right? And as long as it's fun, I'm going to keep doing it. Not to say that it's fun every day, and not to say that I don't cry, because I do. These setbacks can be quite devastating. Not being able to go to Tough Mudder last month was absolutely devastating. It was. I'm not going to lie. And just FYI, we have that rescheduled for Colorado for this summer. So hopefully we'll be able to do that, and it won't be like a complete loss. And we have a couple terrain races coming up too in Albuquerque next month, and then in August. So yeah, so I'm not quitting, you know, but I did want to fill you in on where I was, and I'm going to stop talking now because now I'm repeating myself. So thank you for being here. I love you guys, and hopefully talk to you soon. Bye.